Welcome to Table Talk. Today I want to talk about a very interesting and important topic. But before I do that, I want to explain a little bit about what exactly I'm doing here. We live in a day and age of, this camera's got a built-in light. I can't get over that. That is an amazing, I'm looking at this built-in light and it is so cool. I can't believe I just got a new camcorder. So I'm excited, and so my room here has become my little studio. So anyway, as hard as this is to believe, I'm not just doing this to entertain myself. We live in a day and age where pretty much anybody can talk about anything, anywhere. And I know some of you are going, not another one. But I'd like to think I'm not just talking about nonsense. I'd like to think that I want to bring to the table, hence why I'm calling this Table Talk, some pretty important discussions me and you might have over coffee. We've got this medium called YouTube, which only gives me 10 minutes, so I got to watch my time. And we can take advantage of this medium called YouTube, and we can use it where an average Joe like me can become famous. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to do. But anyway, pretty much anyone can put themselves on the air, if you will, through this medium called YouTube. And I want to do this not for self-promotion, maybe a little, but no, I want to do this to talk about theology, talk about the Bible, talk about issues of the day. So with that being said, let's get right into it. And by the way, this show is going to have, I've always wanted to have like a talk show, so you have to kind of bear with my, my longings for drama, or whatever you would call it. But not only will I be talking, but I'm going to have some of my friends, some of the greatest people in the world on the program, and I'm going to have them discuss some of the issues that I discuss with you. We'll have them on, and we'll talk about it, and we'll do other fun things. So it should be fun. So it'll be funny, but it'll be important too. But new movie out by Ricky Gervais called The Invention of Lying. Now, if you want to find out more about the movie, you can go anywhere and research the movie and find out what it's about. But basically, what Ricky Gervais, before I begin to counter his work, and I'm not really countering his work, but the idea in it, I will admit he's a funny man. I enjoyed him in Night in the Museum. But when he begins to express his, which he's free to do, his ideas about religion and such, which really aren't convincing. If you were to take the idea of this movie and put it into an intellectual argument, I think it could be easily rebutted. But when he begins to assert these ideas through the medium of film, I think it's up to the little people like me to address these things and bring them into context. So he had a right to make this film, but I think it deserves a response. But basically the film calls Jesus and or his disciples a liar. And I think if you see the film, you'll see that. And I don't say, oh, it's just a movie, it's fun. Okay, well, there's always a content behind the movie, and that's what I'm addressing. But basically, even beyond this movie, this is not something new or something particular to Mr. Gervais. George Carlin and many other comedians, well, George Carlin I know for sure, and probably some other comedians and scientists and what have you, have this idea that someone came up with the idea of God, or, as they like to call him, a man in the sky. I'm doing that. I think I did that above the lens, but that's what I'm doing. Anyway, they came up with this idea of a man in the sky. That somebody made up this whole idea about a man in the sky. That this is all made up. In other words, God is all made up. And there's no doubt in the context of this film, and in the context of many of the comedy routines of George Carlin, that the man in the sky is particularly the biblical God. Not that it would be limited to that, but often these men are making an attack on the God of Scripture, the Judeo-Christian God. And I would like to ask the question to begin with, because see, if you're going to assert something against something, you need to understand that something to which you are asserting something against. And is the God of the Bible presented as a man in the sky? I don't think so. I think he's presented as an eternal being that exists outside time and space, that created all things. The Greek gods present more of an idea of God-men in the sky. There's that movie Clash of the Titans coming out. And literally, the Greek gods are God-men in the sky. These are men in the sky that have certain powers and do certain things and have lightning bolts and what have you.